Welcome to the third webinar for the Foundation Accelerator. And this year we decided to start the Foundation Accelerator to try and bring our learnings of investing in companies like these to the foundation world. And so we're running a 10-week program. We're currently in the free part of that, but we're running a 10-week program for the grant side of the foundations, the side that usually aren't making the investments. And we're going to teach you why investing is an important thing to do, how it can help improve and leverage and catalyze what you do with the grants, and how it works so that you're comfortable making investments. And we're going to do that by actually making investments. The reason why we're doing this in an accelerator, the point of doing this inside a program that's typically focused on the startups, accelerating the startups, is that we learned a lot from running accelerator programs. We've learned how important it is not to just teach in the classroom setting, but actually have the participants do what they're learning. So I taught entrepreneurship for, I said, 7-8 years at the business school. And a lot of the times I taught with exactly the same curriculum I do at Fledge. And a lot of the times it just kind of went in one ear and went out the other ear because they weren't doing. They weren't actually implementing what they were being taught. Versus when they're in Fledge, when the entrepreneurs are here, when we teach them something, it's important. It's part of their business. And so we want to make this part of the business of foundations to do investing. So we're going to do investing. Second thing we learned is that doing this in a cohort of peers is incredibly powerful. It means that not only are you just sitting there by yourself or maybe with one study partner learning the material, but you have a whole collection of people who are all learning at the same time. You can hear their questions. You can hear the answers to their questions. You can turn to them after the program and during the program to get answers. It creates something that lasts for a lot longer than 10 weeks. With a structure, we're not just doing guest speakers, which is common in some accelerator programs. We have a structure to this. But it's only 10 weeks long, and it's only 10 weeks long because that drives towards the goal. That makes sure that that goal happens and happens quickly, and that shared goal at the end is to make investments. So it starts out, we're teaching you what this is going to be like by having some free workshops. We did 2 over the last 2 weeks. Today's the third one. Next Thursday is the last one. And then at the end of that, we will ask who wants to join in. And then it's 10 weeks, every Thursday from April 23rd to June 25th, right? And you'll hear at the end, but what else are you going to do? You're working at home right now. There's a cost to this. So in order to make those investments, we need money. And it's going to be your money or your foundation's money or your family office's money. So what we're proposing is $55,000 per participant. $50,000 goes into the pool that gets invested. The participants will pick where that goes collectively. And then $5,000 is the fee to run this program. All of this is going to go through our partner, Realize Impact. It was on that slide of my background. We're doing that because we're just assuming that you're not comfortable making investments yet. So we're not asking you to make an investment of $55,000. We're asking you to make a recoverable grant of $55,000. And if there are any returns, and we expect there are returns, we will send them back to your foundation or your family office. This is run by Fledge. Fledge is legally a tiny little venture capital fund. We've raised a little more than $3 million from 67 investors, one of them already a foundation. We've made over 100 investments in 90 companies around the world. We know how to make investments. That's what we do. We're a for-profit. And Realize Impact, they know how to make impact investments as a nonprofit. And we're here to tie all those pieces together for you. Forgot to update this one. So today we're going to talk about the realities of startups. And next week, I'm going to change the topic. There's something that came up since this was made. Next week, we're going to talk about how to stave off the coming hunger problem in Africa. And we'll also include a preview of the 10 weeks and any Q&A. But part of the things that are popping up in this pandemic are what's going to happen in the emerging markets. And really, almost no one's writing about that. I do a lot of work, as you saw from my slide on the fledglings. I have a lot of companies that I work with over there, and they're starting to have issues. And the next issue down the road that we're not seeing here is that the food supply network is going to break down and people are going to starve. We're starting to see that in India. Same thing's going to happen in Africa. And unlike India, there's no central authority to fix it. So I'll tell you more about that and how investing can fix that next week. And then when we get to the 10-week program, 2 weeks from now, here's the proposed schedule. We'll probably adjust these as we find out who's in the program and what they want to learn, but this is what we're going to start with. So we're going to clearly teach blended capital. The term blended capital is how to mix grants and investments together. We're going to talk about the issue that philanthropy and investing often use the same word for different meanings, and often have different words that have no meanings to the other side of the table here. We're going to talk about integrated full spectrum blended investing by the person who made up that term. Her name's Stephanie Gripney. It's amazing. It's how to be completely satisfied with negative 10% returns, right? And have that be a better return than you're already having because you don't put it in that frame. It's amazing stuff. She's gonna blow your mind on that. Then we're gonna go into the actual details of what investing looks like and how it works and what the terms are. We'll do that for a few weeks. We'll dissect a pitch deck so that you can see when an investment comes along in what we call deal flow, whether or not it's worth investing in. We'll teach you how to manage a bunch of investments, a whole portfolio of investments. We'll talk about the difference between making a transaction and a one-time investment versus creating a relationship. And then we'll spend the last 2 weeks actually making investments. I'll bring some potential investments. You'll bring some potential investments. We'll talk about them. We'll pick them. We'll make them happen. We'll move some money. And right now, the world really needs some money to get moved.